So we'll welcome Shannon on.
There we go.
Hey, everybody, this is Shannon Braun. She's down there in Kamloops. And this is meteorologist Mark Ingalls. We also have
Hello.
associate producer Imogen Cookie Bailey here. We got Cowboy Hilding Donaldson and Grassy Plains. The world's most famous weatherman, Frankie McDonald, has just gone to another podcast for a bit. He does that. So, Shannon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to talk with Mark. Mark Ingalls, take it away.
Sure.
Hi, Shannon.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. So I
You
hear
too.
that
Thanks
you
for having me.
I hear that you saw a tornado up in you're in Kamloops, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Kamloops, West Side area. And yeah, like I swear for a split second something touched down. Like the clouds just started doing their thing and it went from just, like a regular storm cloud to like body and depth. And then there was that total rotation and I was like, holy cow.
And the
I
rotation made it all the way to the ground.
I swear for a split second, there looked like it looked like dust came up, not rain coming down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what it sounds like to me actually, and it looks like Joey's putting the video here. What it sounds like to me is you had a nice little land spout there, which are kind of similar to water spouts. They're a type of tornado.
Yeah, and like before I started recording was when it actually kind of started coming down, and like I wish I had a hit record about like 20 seconds before because it just went so quick, right? That like real deal, that's kind of like the aftermath of it.
This is really solid rotation. For the people listening on the radio, we're looking at a lowered cloud base in a thunderstorm, and we're overlooking a hill with some trees on the upper slopes. But we can't really see in this video the funnel making it all the way to the ground because it's kind of obscured by the hill. But it definitely looks like there is something that at one point made it to the ground, especially on that higher hilltop.
I think
like
when you look in this section right here,
crazy.
And watch this here, how it kicks up. And I got right up close one day and was like in front of my large TV and like looked right in there. And I was like, man, I think that's on the ground.
Yeah, I agree. This is a really great shot, Shannon. And one thing that I'll say is anytime I have my Facebook weather page in Eastern Washington. Anytime somebody sends me something, half the time the video's all wobbly or somebody's saying something stupid in the background. This is an awesome video.
Thank
Isn't
you.
it?
I got really lucky that the kids and the dog were inside quiet.
About what time of day was this?
So the storm started coming in at like 3 o'clock, and then this happened at like 3:50.
Okay. Yeah, I as a professional meteorologist,
Cool.
I totally believe that.
Guess what? I was on another podcast, the Anthony Rogers Show, just now.
Welcome back, Frankie.
Frankie runs the show here.
I was just on another podcast. Anthony Rogers sent me a message because I was talking to Anthony Rogers.
You missed it, Frankie. We have a pretty solid looking video here from our friend Shannon who's just come on. She lives down in Kamloops, Frankie, and it looks like we got a tornado on Mount Harper this week.
The video
of a tornado. Want to share it one more time?
Yes, because I was just on Anthony Rogers Show podcast.
Yeah, of course you were. Yeah.
Is Anthony Rogers going to pay us for all the free publicity?
One more time for Frankie McDonald.
Yeah.
This is what Shannon saw. This is and for the radio listeners, we're watching it one more time. So you can definitely see a very large lowered base, a definite wall cloud. You can definitely see that the lower area of the wall cloud is rotating from right to left for us from this vantage point. And there seems to be a condensation funnel kicking up dust, and there is a light sort of dirt up there that, that to me, knowing the country, that looks like what I would expect to see if there was, and other videos I've seen from this clearly show a microburst happen somewhere up the valley and behind.
Yeah, these kinds of tornadoes form as storms are like forming. And that makes sense given the upper level pattern for the day. They're usually pretty weak. Like I would expect this to be an EF0 But I mean, if this went through Kamloops or any other town, I've seen it in Pasco, Washington, where one goes through a neighborhood and tosses a trampoline into somebody else's window and breaks it. Like,
Mhm.
these are not something to mess around with. Obviously, up in the mountain on the outside of town is something different than in the middle of town. But I can't say it enough. That is one of the
Cool.
highest quality videos shot by
Wild.
a
Yahoo.
non-professional of a weather event that I've ever seen.
Yahoo. Yeah, it was pretty stunning to see it in real life because it just had so much body to it. Like just the whole cloud start to finish, it was completely alive. So yeah, I'm really happy that I was able to record it and super exciting that people have been paying so much attention to it. I think that's fantastic.
Yes, well, thank you for sharing it with us. And
You know
I'm
who
sure
she
you know
also
it will
shared it
be
with,
on
Mark?
it will be
She
on
also-
Rogers TV and
Sweet.
on Vancouver Island. So you've hit
Fantastic.
the big time.
Woohoo, 30 minutes of fame. Keep it going.
She also sent it to Northern Tornadoes Project.
Yes.
Oh, good. Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Love to help.
Now you'll be like watching every storm.
Oh, I know. Even today, I was like, here we go. It's coming back. But I was like, nah, it's not going to hit the same place twice.
Well, the weather pattern is such that I wouldn't be shocked to see that sort of thing, at least
Yeah.
somewhere in the province, a couple of times over the next
Yeah.
week or so.
Yeah. Fun
Yeah,
time.
you know, like we got this like sort of thunderstorm outlook that keeps changing next week, you know, but basically we know that something big's going to happen at some point next week.
Yeah, and like usually everything just completely bypasses Kamloops. So to actually see like a good storm come and do something, like that was super exciting on its own.
Well, and the one clue, it was coming from the north, which you don't
Yeah.
expect to see a storm coming into Kamloops come from the north either, right? So
No, not
it
usually.
was, and all the weather was basically coming from the north at that time, which is part of what was helping get things swinging. So, Mark, there was also funnels in Abbotsford.
Yes.
You saw the cyclonic rotation, mesocyclonic rotation there in Surrey. And I think there was possibly a small tornado on the ground in Prince George. The video looked pretty good. And the witness from the Good Hope Organic Farm is somebody who's lived in Kansas and has seen tornadoes. So I generally consider that to be a sign of probably a pretty good witness. So he says he didn't get the camera out in time. And so, you know, another one might have been on the ground for 30 seconds. In terms of the one in Kamloops, EF0, absolutely, because there will be nothing but rocks in that hill.
Right,
You know.
right. Sagebrush and rocks, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and any tree that's up there is like so hard and weather beaten. It's
Right. There's no damage.
You need F3 to dislodge it, right?
Right. Yeah. The funnel in Abbotsford was really. I didn't see it myself, but it was really well defined. It looked like the funnel that you would get before a waterspout, unlike mine, which was probably more like a mesocyclone, but there was definite rotation. But that makes sense because all these storms that we had in the lower mainland were coming off of the strait here. And there was actually a waterspout watch in effect for the strait for both Friday and Saturday. And so like it's these are landspout tornadoes, which form similar to waterspouts instead of like large supercell tornadoes that we see on the prairies. But I mean, for me, especially sitting here in British Columbia, a funnel cloud's a funnel cloud. It doesn't matter.
Well, that was a pretty one. The one on Saturday. I mean, a Shannon storm is very pretty as well. It's a very picturesque storm. And she's in just the right place to see no precipitation, see in and see it. Right, but that one in Abbotsford this weekend was very pretty. I wish we had permission to share that video because that's classic funnel. You know.
Yes, classic
Beautiful.
funnel, exactly right. So the TV viewers will get the radio experience with that one, where we describe it poorly, and hope you can envision it in your head.
You know, but how's that, Mark? It's like I'm like, come on, move to Canada, take a met job in Canada. Come on, get out of that crazy place. And it's like, you know, you've been here like a week, and it's like funnels and tornadoes.
Man, I texted my old coworker Garrett down in Portland. He goes out to storm chase on the plains every spring, And like I have seen personally 3 tornadoes, 0 of them while I was storm chasing. And he's like, so I texted him this video of the messy funnel, and he was like, I need to go storm chasing with you. And I'm like, no. I'm a horrible storm chaser. They just find me.
Hank, I want you to watch this video for a second. Give an opinion on this. I think we have an actual video. This is a video that's taken by Shannon, who's here in the audience. Shannon Braun, outside Kamloops. This was on Monday, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's the best video I've seen so far.
Looks good, doesn't it? Looks good. This is tough on the radio listeners. This is tough on the radio listeners. We'll probably edit us saying that looks good out. That looks good out 15 times.
We already described it, so now they can just envision and just think that it looks good themselves.
Well, because we did give such a quality description, I think it's really up to them to imagine.
This is a comedy. This is a comedy radio show. If they can't figure it out, they can just laugh.
But as you can imagine, it looks like a Kamloops hill. It's a rainforest with giant trees and humongous rocky peaks.
Yeah, there's a polar bear off the side.
There is a polar bear or two. You can kind of see right there on the front ground.
It is truly Canadian to have a polar bear in there. But what's really noticeable for the radio listeners who cannot see this is just how much wildlife is being thrown around. That funnel cloud has picked up thousands of frogs and has thrown them across the countryside.
Well, and I didn't know that they did so much ranching on the hills outside of Kamloops there. I mean, frogs and cows. And then I'll click play. This is oh, I'll turn off the sound. You don't need it. But this is my little spin up that we had here. It's not rotating as well as Shannon's is, but there's definitely spin there. And I took this right off my balcony here in Surrey. Looking towards the southwest, towards the Boundary Bay there. That's a little high rise down by Simahu Town Center. So that was our excitement on Saturday and about 8:30 in the morning, and then I will figure out how to stop sharing so that you can see my beautiful face.
Definite's good.
That's
No,
it? All right.
I'm
Yeah.
kidding. Well, I think we saw a tornado on the mountaintop in Kamloops this week. And, people are saying, like, wow, I didn't think that could happen here. Well, it can happen anywhere that thunderstorms can occur. Well, that's the show pretty much this week. We do have a minute or two extra to play with here. Was stalling for time.
Did they have different viewpoints of that tornado from different people?
I've got a number of photos and images of that storm. One which does show a better looking funnel, actually, a more clear looking condensation funnel, but we don't have permission to show it.
It's a no-doubter, then. It's a no-doubter as far as I'm concerned.
I think so.
That's how I feel.
I wanted to be like tiptoe around it at first, not be like definite, but I felt that pretty quickly on, and now I feel good enough that I can say, yeah. Especially after I saw those extra images 2 days ago, I felt pretty good about it at that point.
I have the authority. I have the degree. I say it's a tornado.
There you go.